by B. Burrell. I'm a part of an amazing organization called Generational Wealth, and we focus on the 5 keys to wealth. I have a sixth one we added, which is social wealth, but we focus on the physical, mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual wealth, right? And it actually correlates with what we're going to talk about tonight. So I want you guys to focus on rating yourself tonight. All right. Oftentimes what we don't do last 2 weeks, we spoke about muscle memory, how to develop the muscle memory, how to plan your schedule, how to sit down and have conversations with your family, your friends, really stick to the plan, right? Really stay committed to the plan and not stop and start. But how can we build us an agenda to where we're not stopping all the time and starting? Like I'm grateful for people who know how to keep going. And there may be times in your life where you have to take a pause, but how can we eliminate the pausing factor? And that's what the last 2 calls have been. And forgive me, I don't think I uploaded last week's call, so I'm going to upload that to the YouTube channel along with this one. If not tonight, first thing in the morning. But we've been talking about muscle memory. How many of you guys have found yourself sometimes you want to do something and then you stop and life happens, or maybe you just got off track, or maybe you didn't properly plan? If that's been you, drop some ones in the chat box. It's definitely been me. I decided to eliminate that as a factor in my life on my fitness journey. Like I've always been athletic. I've always played football and stuff like that. But July 24th of 2022, this about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, after reevaluating myself and having that conversation with myself, I see all the ones coming. Okay, I'm not alone, I'm not by myself. I was like, bro, I'm tired of talking about fitness. I'm talking about me wearing my 3-inch shorts, with my muscle thighs. I was like, I got to make this thing happen. And so I've been very consistent since July 24th, every single day, sometimes twice a day, working out, having competitions with my family or my friends and my fitness watch. And it's been really, really an amazing experience, but I feel phenomenal. I feel amazing. So I want us to not just feel amazing in those areas where we can do flawlessly, but I want us to feel amazing in those areas that we want to conquer, right? So the first thing I want you guys is to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. So if not tonight, take a sheet of paper. Please make sure you definitely taking notes. They say, well, note takers are money makers, but I believe those not just taking notes, but application is those who actually benefit, right? You can take notes all day, but it doesn't mean anything. You have to apply it. So I want us to start off with romantic relationships. On a scale from 1 to 10, I want you to evaluate your love life. I want you to evaluate your spouse, your partner, your wife, your husband. I want you to do an evaluation on not only how the status of your relationship, but what can be better, what can improve. And if you are single, listen, I'm a person where when I was single, I was deliberately single because nobody matched my vibration. You had to meet a certain criteria mentally and spiritually before I even found you attractive. Like, it's past the physical at this point. I mean, of course, you want to look at them, but if you're growing and your spouse is not growing, then you want to figure out how to have that conversation. Now, you don't want to chastise them and make them feel bad. You want to bring to the table activities that you guys can do together so that there's some growth. Now, if you're looking for somebody if you're waiting on that person for your life, don't be sitting there seeking them out and chasing folks. Like, I think I don't know, it's annoying to me when people do that. I do, believe in pursuing, but allow it, don't force it, just allow it to flow. But before you pursue people, and whether you're in a relationship or not, a couple of things you want to evaluate is where you are mentally, where you are spiritually, emotionally, physically. Really look at every area of your life, not just because somebody cute. Like, that's dead, that's lame. Like, okay, who cares? People are cute. What are they mentally? Are they mentally stable? Are they spiritually stable? How do they treat their parents? How do they treat their family? How do they react? What is their attitude? Like, y'all really got to understand a healthy relationship, a loving relationship. And now, if you didn't witness that growing up as a child, maybe that wasn't something you were around, then we always know if you know the definition of respect and love and kindness, though, that is what love is. And if you understand that is not what you're seeing, then that's not love. Now, granted, people will stay in spaces that are very abusive, they're very traumatic, and a lot of times it's based out of fear. But begin to pray for an exit, begin to pray for something better, and then begin to pray for increase, whether that increase may be that door closing. The increase may be you taking a pause and stop pursuing people or whatever. Evaluate yourself in your love life on a scale from 1 to 10. And as it's 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, or improvement. 1 being, need a lot of improvement. 10 is really great. And even if you're have a great relationship right now, how can it still even be better? Make sure you still have date nights. Make sure you still traveling and spending time together. Spend every fifth Sunday or every fifth weekend is where it's just you. Like, I forgot what book it was. It might have been Atomic Habits or The Compound Effect, where he really emphasized, Friday nights was with the kids, Saturday nights was date night. We always had date nights. So make sure you don't have such a mundane relationship that it's not thriving and flourishing. Like you still want to have that healthy and excitement about your relationship. And that's actually what I personally have. It's always exciting. It's always healthy. We're always doing things. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal experience. I'm very private in my relationship, but it's an amazing, she's the best thing ever. The next thing you want to understand is other relationships. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how are you in your friendships? Make sure you don't have people around you that are suffocating you, that are leeches, that are pulling the life out of you. We have to start holding each other accountable. I read something today about don't be around lazy friends. Check out my Instagram story. A friend of mine posted it. And she's like, we got to start being aware of, are we surrounding ourselves around lazy people? Check out your friendships. Are they always negative? Are they always vomiting on you? There's a difference between somebody calling you for advice and wanting to create a solution than gossiping all day. Now, if you're listening to people who are gossiping, then that says something about you. You either you're not a stand-up person where you're protecting your energy and you just want to entertain people, or entertain people. You have to really evaluate your friendships. Now, some of my friendships have shifted over the years, even though they're my best friends and my close friends. Our relationships are more so just social now, and some of it is business and growth. But I started to really realize, like, I'm a big introvert, but I've kind of twisted in a way where I'm like selective at being an extrovert now, because I realized who I am mentally and emotionally and where I want to go. And if you don't match that energy, I can't really converse with you. I'm very, very selective on who I have communication with. I'm very selective who I allow to speak to me. I'm very selective in what I'm listening to, because I don't mind being your friend, but some friendships comes with boundaries because of who I know I want to be, and that space I got to protect is sustaining and being in that space. So evaluate your friendships. Now, some friends you may just only work out with. Some friends you may do business with, or speak about investing with, speak about a growth with. There may be friends where you only speak about other family members and how we can improve and stuff like that. There may be friends where you can speak about finance. Like, there may be friends you only travel with. Evaluate your friendships, but at the end of the day, on a scale from 1 to 10, is it adding value to you? What are you both bringing to the table? Your family relationships, your co-working relationships, your business relationships. It has to be healthy. And if you cannot be transparent in all these relationships, then it's not truly a relationship. I'm very transparent in my friendships. We could talk about anything, and we understand it's not to hurt each other's feelings, but to allow us to improve. And learning how to speak. If you want to learn how to communicate, by the way, get this book by Dale Carnegie. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a red and white book. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, will teach you about communication. Mostly it will teach you how to actually listen and stop waiting to reply, or stop. It teaches you how to hear things from their perspective and not solely hear from your perspective. I think it's a phenomenal book. I believe every single person should read it. So evaluate your relationships, your family relationships. Maybe there's somebody you have not forgiven. Maybe there's some resentment you're holding to. My favorite scripture is Mark 11:22-24. When you pray for something, believe that you have received it. But the second verse talks about when you are praying, please, if you hold anything against anyone, please forgive them as your Father in heaven will forgive you. Because ultimately, your desired prayer is what is in your heart. And if resentment and unforgiveness and hatred, it can be friendships, past relationships, if all that is still holding in your heart, then that's what you continuously are praying for to receive. All right. You may not be, whatever you're thinking here is something consciously and subconsciously is two different experiences. All right. Understand that you got to make a conscious decision to remove this, that you're just allowing it hold in your heart. Because God won't allow blessings won't overflow if you continue to hoard on this resentment and unforgiveness in your heart. So please make sure you're operating in that. Be careful about your business relationships. Make sure you're vetting people, their history, their experience. What can they bring to the table? Now, I want to be very clear when it comes to business. When you're starting a business relationship or you're doing a partnership with somebody, you guys want to, start a business, you want to get some revenue flowing in. Well, you got to be very, very mindful. Just because you have a good idea does not mean anything, right? Everybody has great ideas, but that doesn't make them a great leader. I used to once work for a physician, phenomenal physician, can do surgery with his eyes closed, but he was a horrible leader. Horrible. He was verbally abusive. People were calling the cops on them. It was a very, very traumatic experience, and great business, right? But horrible leader, horrible person. So you guys make sure you know the difference. Make sure you can separate the two and be able to discern the two. All right. Are they good with their finances? Or how do they treat people? Are they on time? Do they operate in excellence? Like, and not just in business, like all your relationships, guys, you got to start holding a standard for the type of space that you want to have, which leads me into step evaluation number 4 on a scale from 1 to 10. Evaluate your physical environment, the places that you operate in, the places that you go to. So number 4 is let's take your home. How is your home environment? For me, my home is clean, top. My house is so freaking clean. You can't even wear no shoes in my house. I keep it top notch. I make my bed every single day. It's such a high vibration in my home. And when people walk in, it's like, oh my God, it makes them feel good. My nephew, like all of my appliances and stuff, and my sink and all my molds and stuff is gold, and or champagne bronze, if you will, but it looks gold. So my nephew always says, Auntie, it feels rich in here. Or, Auntie, I know you're a millionaire. Or Auntie, if we had an emergency, I know you could pay for it. Like, I am so glad that he can see that perception. He's only 5 years old, right? He comes to my house, Mommy, I know Auntie is rich because her house is always clean. So it's like, it's funny to me, but I'm like, okay, I'm with it. I'm totally with it. So what do you want people to, if somebody came to your house, what do they see? Do they see laziness? Do they see lack? Do they see somebody who's conditioned to just, one thing about people who have kids, oh, my kids, the house is a mess. Well, my best friend used to have her kids in check. My mama had me in check. So I don't know what people are doing or not doing, but your kids are not an excuse or not a pass for you to have a messy house, because what you're also doing is training your kids how to be messy, training your kids how not to be disciplined, training your kids how to be, run around wild in the house. You got to start teaching them at a young age. Now, granted, when they're very, very young, they're going to have toys and stuff around the house, but start getting them trained, start getting them in a systematic flow where, all right, well, it's 6 o'clock or it's getting ready to go to bed, put them toys up, keep them in a certain area and environment. If they don't do that, teach them, hey, you're going to get in trouble if you don't, to clean up after yourself. So how do you want your environment to look? What does your car look like? All right. I'm known for having a lot of water bottles on my front seat. So I'll drink. And because I don't throw stuff out the window like a lot of people, they just litter. So I end up accumulating water bottles, especially when I'm on the go. But when it's time for them to go, they got to go. Keep your house clean. Keep your car clean. I don't care if you're riding a hoop or if you're riding around in a Lexus or a double R. I don't care. Keep it clean at all times, because it doesn't matter how old your car is, guys. Operate in excellence. Keep that vibration high. It doesn't matter how old or new your home is. Keep that vibration new or high. All right. Your workspace. What does your workspace look like? What do you look like when you go to work? All those different things. Your personal space. What are the images that are around your house? What type of imagery do you have? What type of photos and things that you have around the house? Right. Like little things like this. This is my sister's thing, because he lives, I can face tomorrow, right? So what type of imagery, what type of quotes, what type of cool sayings do you have around your house to keep your house vibrating at a high level, right? So that's your environment, your images and pictures, okay? Those are things you want to consider. On a scale from 1 to 10, what does your house look like? From a scale from 1 to 10, what does your car look like? On a scale from 1 to 10, your work environment, your workspace. Also consider this in your career. On a scale from 1 to, that's coming up next. I'm sorry, that's number 6. Number 5, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your personal growth, right? How are you spiritually, your faith in God, or whatever it is that you believe in? How is your relationship? Do you spend time? Do you spend time in prayer? Do you spend time? Number 5, personal growth. And under personal growth, you got spiritual growth, all right, which is technically the generational wealth model, our 5 keys of wealth. Spiritual wealth. How often do you pray? How often and not even pray, how often are you studying what you believe in? Right? I read 3 pages of the Bible every single day. Granted, the Old Testament is tough to get through because it's so much, war and violence and history and what's what I'm looking for? Family trees and stuff like that. But I want to know what's going on. I want to see what God did, who God is. What did he do, right? My favorite right now is still the New Testament, because it's so much love and kindness and forgiveness. And parts I love about the Old Testament is how often people still, especially the book of Judges, how just those first 5 books, God chose certain people to lead. God gave them time after time forgiving. Y'all done pissed me off, I'm gonna forgive you again. Y'all done pissed me off, I'm gonna forgive y'all again, because he would keep saving them, and then they would get comfortable being saved and forget him. And so you got to understand your faith has to be nurtured. It can't just be going to church and listen to other people speak to you. It can't just be coming to this call and just listen to me. It has to be a relationship. When you're dating something, whether that's your career or skill set, when you want to get to know something, you got to dig, you got to get research. Buy you some books by John Maxwell, some books by Max Lucado, TD Jakes. Get somebody, get involved, get in relationship. All right. Your physical. I can finally say, thank you, Jesus. I can say this without any regret. What is your physical journey, right? How do you want to look? So many people give up. Oh, I'm 50 years old. I don't want to work out no more. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to work out no more. Oh, I'm 18. I still got time. It does not matter. Every single moment of your life is precious. Every single breathing moment is precious. So stop putting time on when you take action. All right. Allow the action to accumulate, snowball effect, consistency, compounding. Right. I'm down 4 pounds, maybe more now, since July 24th. Why? Because I've been making sure I stay on top of my groceries. All right. I make sure I got Publix. My Publix grocery list is ready to go. And if I have to buy something, it has to be something that makes me feel good. I wanted some filet and wings so bad today. So bad. But all I can think about is when you eating that food, you ain't feel good. All right. So you gotta stop. You gotta start thinking beforehand as well. Don't be what we call response. Don't be reactive. The response is, okay, I know I desire this, and I feel like for me right now, I don't even really eat bad, but it's just staying on top of always my meals and what I'm eating, because I can get on the go so much that sometimes I just won't eat because I don't want nothing that's in the public. So what do you want to look like? Your hair, your teeth, right? Your body, your blood pressure, all that stuff is preventative, guys. We just got to stay on top of it. Some people don't even get their dental cleaning twice a year. I used to be that person. All right. 2 times a year. People would get it from the youth. They grew up would pretty much be fine. All right. So what do you want to look like physically? All right. And you got to start loving yourself. Again, preparation, plan. Do not start committing to things when you haven't properly prepared to commit. All right. Don't be, you know what? I'm starting tomorrow. I'm going to start going to the gym. No, that is not how it works. You have to know what your agenda is for every single day. You have to not allow life and things that you forgot you were supposed to do in your schedule to pull you away from commitment. That's why people don't stick stuff out, because for some reason, especially in America, we don't teach people how to plan, how to budget. The preparation is not a characteristic of this society, right? Your emotional state, which is your attitude. Are you reactive or are you responsive? How do you respond to people when they're communicating with you? Are you impatient when somebody's reaching out to you? Are you impatient when you want some answers from people? All right. Are you impatient when you have these different encounters in public? What is your attitude? Do people enjoy being around you? Do people not enjoy being around you? And if you find yourself always saying, well, people are always acting like this, that, and the other, well, that can kind of go both ways. For me, I do believe that people do have we all have a lot of growth that we need to work on, right? But you got to be careful of your attitude. Do you watch a lot of news? Do you watch a lot of negative things? Because you may subconsciously be a negative person and don't even realize it, right? Are you quick to engage in gospel? Are you the first person that's telling us what's going on? Like, you got to really monitor your attitude, because it plays a big role in your level of impact and how people want to spend their time around you. And it affects your influence. You can be skillful and talented and rich. That doesn't matter. Your attitude plays a big role in who wants to be around you and surround you and support you. So monitor your attitude. I always tell people, operate like Jesus. Like, check out the New Testament. It's really a game changer, right? The next one is your mental space, how you think. I talk about thinking so much. That's why this call is called the power within. Think, faith, belief. But thinking, are you in control of your thinking, or are you just going with the flow? All right. For instance, Bishop Jackson, he's a bishop in one of the districts in one of his huge church districts. And he spoke Sunday. He said, you know what? I don't like being around people who don't think. I don't like people who just existing. They go to work, they wake up, they drink coffee, they get in a car, they go to work, they come home, they eat dinner, they watch TV, they go to sleep, they go to work, they wake up, they drink coffee, they get dressed, they go to work, they get off work, they eat TV dinner, and they go to bed. And they just go through that same routine every single day. Every single day. Their entire life. There is no ambition, there's no reach, there's no they don't have width, height, and reach, which means He was basically saying they don't reach for further things in their life. They don't have a death, meaning there aren't any lies or things that they've done in their past times. And with meaning that they haven't reached out, they haven't reached other people in other areas in their lives. Right. So how you think, are you even thinking? You got to understand you can still be moving and not be thinking. Why? Because you could train a dog to do the same thing every day, but the dog don't think. A lot of people operate like little dogs and animals. Once we train you, you do everything that we've trained you to do. You don't know how to think beyond that. All right. And the last one is financial, your literacy. And I'll go further into that on bullet number 7. Now, the 6th point on the scale from 1 to 10, how is your career? On a scale from 1 to 10, how is your business, your job? Well, people have to understand that there is a such thing as an employed millionaire. Okay. On your job, is it something that you enjoy, or is it something that's suffocating the life out of you? Now, anytime that I've worked in a job and it didn't make me feel good, it didn't take no time for me to leave, because one thing I have is self-respect. And I also respect my health, because how many of y'all been stressed before? You've been very overwhelmed because you're so busy trying to make these things happen for other people that you're carrying all the weight, because you want this thing to happen. You want this thing to work, but you're overworking yourself. Anybody ever been overworked before? Drop a 1 in the chat box. You've been overworked, right? Or maybe you weren't even overworked, but the job requires so much more. You stepped up to the plate unconscious. Like you're just because you're a natural leader. Like I do that. I be want to be low key. I want nobody to know I can work. I ain't want nobody to know I can lead. I don't want nobody to know none of that. I want to stay low key. But because you're a natural leader, or you naturally like to get things done and make things happen, you start to overcommit. And now you know that pay ain't gonna never make sense, right? But you find yourself overdoing it. So be mindful, take a step back, reset, breathe, all right? And find something out. If you feel like you'll never find that job that's going to make you feel like amazing, then tolerate it until you create the wealth on the side that you need to make the exit. Some of you guys may be operating in businesses. My friend right now, she's working on transitioning from being self-employed to a business owner, where she's about to open another store, and she has to now hire staff. Now, when the staff comes in, she ain't got to be there no more. So she actually already has a little bit of freedom right now, because she can open her business when she wants to. But still, at the end of the day, there's going to be a next level of freedom, right? But you gotta be patient, and you gotta just sit still, sit real calm and patient. And as long as you're making the right moves on the external plane, outside of that environment, if you're not happy in that workspace, then yeah, you're gonna it's gonna suck. But when I transitioned out of corporate America, April 6th, 2018, I was so excited, because I was like, I didn't mind coming to work no more, because I was like, bro, I'm working on my exit plan. I got something I'm working on, and I'm working it every single night, 4 hour plus hours a day, 12 hours on the weekend. So I was excited to like still go to work, because I knew this was not my final destination. Right. And number 7, on a scale from 1 to 10, how are you in your finances? How are you with your financial literacy? How are you with your financial philosophy? What people have to understand is you don't have to start a business. Okay. I mean, or you don't have to be an entrepreneur. All right. But as long as you're an investor, for instance, I always tell my family what to invest in. I'm always sending them cues. Hey, go buy this stock, go buy this crypto, invest in this, copy and paste this trade, whatever. Like, let's make sure we're building up wealth. We're going to start a family LLC together soon. So I'm telling them, like, yeah, you guys can be employed millionaires. Believe me, there's hundreds and thousands of people who are millionaires. They're working out of passion, because they know they got a 7-figure portfolio, right? There are people who are now doing community services. Maybe they start a business. Maybe they're just out there just enjoying life, because whether they show up to the job or not, they have created their own financial security. They've created their own financial insurance, where they've been investing since they were young, or whatever age they were. Maybe you didn't find out about investing until you're 40 years old, 30 years old, 25 years old. Some people start as young as 13. The point is, you stick to the routine, pay yourself 10%, pay your tithes 10% for those who tithe, and then start up an emergency savings and an investment savings. And as long as you're doing that, you can span, I feel like a lot of people can be really financially free by the age of 30 if they started young enough. At the end of the day, it's about how much you're allocating. Keep your expenses low. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't be trying to watch everybody. Like me, I'm not a flashy person. People be like, I do travel a lot. And then I think, people know I'm free through that space. But for me, it's like, go buy a $750 shoe, or go put $750 into a portfolio. Like, that's how I am. It gotta make sense to me. All right. So, if I can't buy four of them cash, I don't even spend my money on it. Right. The next thing is this. Oh yeah, your philosophy and your allocation. I'm going to drop something that I have in my house that I have printed that you guys can have. Just a couple of bullets right quick. How can I get this over to you guys? I'm going to share my screen from my other phone, and that way you guys can have it. But it's some different bullets that I always remind myself: pay myself 10%, tithe 10%, invest into assets. Active income. Get your active income up. What is active income? Stuff you got to show up for. Maybe that's you clocking into a job. Maybe that's you doing Uber, Lyft. Active income is something that requires your time to make money. Active income. Well, that's my obsession right now. Active income, active income. Okay, let me finish. Let me, I don't know. Let me just use this example. Let me get more subscribers so I can get more active income so I can invest. Let's pretend my academy is full of, it is fully running right now. And I got people signing up. Well, let me promote more. Let me invest into more ads so I can get more revenue to invest. And the ultimate goal is turn the active income into passive streams of income. So I can take the active income and buy real estate. Now, if you don't have some type of business or idea or something like that that's generating revenue, well, then let me get my credit right. It may take you a year or two to work on your credit. It's still worth it. Get your credit right. Build up your credit. Start paying bills on time. Start getting your debt to income ratio. Get that fixed. And then now, for instance, I just got my first business credit card last Monday. I just took a leap of faith, which I feel like I was totally prepared for, but it was an uncomfortable space before because I kept putting it off for months. I was like, man, let me just go ahead and do it. And I got my first 5-figure business credit card. And what about, by the way, okay, that's a whole nother conversation, but you got personal credit, business credit. Use your personal credit, get that A1, start getting that up. And then start your LLC. You always want to run all your money through an LLC, by the way. If you get employed, if you get W-2s, you're getting taxed the most. All right. So when I'm traveling, when I'm having fun, I put all that on my business account. We have an employee appreciation today. This is a travel expense for a business meeting, like all of it, because I basically get to keep a certain, basically it almost eliminates taxes. All right. But anyway, the key is this, guys, that you start building up your active income, whether you get in multiple jobs. Like, I don't knock people who got 2 jobs if they're using a second job to start a wealth portfolio. Now, if you start a second job just to pay bills, now you got an evaluation. That's mostly your thinking. You don't even know what's coming in, what's coming out. My bills are $3,500 a month, y'all. I know that's the bill. That's my number. Well, I always got to make sure I'm generating $15,000 a month. I like to stay 4 times more than my cost of living. My cost of living is $3,500. If I'm not making $3,500 and I'm only bringing in $3,500 income, then I'm living check to check. If I'm only bringing in $7,000 a month, then I have an extra $3,500 worth of savings. Cool. Now we're gonna bring that up to 11.5. Now we can take it up to 15K. The key is you need to know your entire cost of living, your groceries on a week-to-week basis, your gas on a week-to-week basis, then the necessities for yourself and your children, your household. You need to eliminate any consumer expenses that you have. What is consumer debt? Your subscriptions, your ads, people paying for car washes, people paying for Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. You need to take a temporary break for 12 to 24 months. All right. If you just really need one, just have one subscription. Okay. So you got to be mindful that all that stuff can be allocated towards you buying stocks and getting a 401k. And I used to be not 401ks, but you use it as a cushion, right? Use it as a savings. You can use it as a tax write-up. That's where I'm kind of into them now. Like S&P, SEP is self-employment 401k. So like you can start putting this stuff into these different outlets. So when you look at, guys, think about that. If you started saving your money every paycheck, right? Let's say you only was making $300 a week at 16, 17 years old. Well, if you start allocating 10% every paycheck, 10% every paycheck, and you put it in just to as simply as a savings account, maybe you don't know about all that stuff yet. Do you believe you would have at least $10, $15, $20,000 saved up? Right? Because the person that gets paid first when you do a W-2 is the taxes, and then your bills, and then you. The wealthy pay themselves first. They pay their bills last. All right. That's the difference between your philosophy. All right. Read The Richest Man in Babylon and it'll make more sense. I didn't mean to go that deep into that, but I will drop my rules for myself that I stay on top of. I went to Invest Fest. I watched Invest Fest this past weekend, and it was just confirmation. A lot of it was what I've studied, what I've read on the internet, to YouTube and Google, whatever. It's get your active income up, start allocating to passive income, things that can pay you. All right. So let me screen share. So I can take a screenshot on my other phone. And that way we'll have it and I'll drop it in the generational wealth chat. There we go. Okay, wait. Let's get that out the way. You guys can screenshot that. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now I'm also going to drop this in the generational wealth chat so you guys can have it. But I just wanted to make sure that people know, like, it's these basic rules. Like, it's really just common sense. I heard Chris Johnson, he said, bro, I really just got wealthy off of common sense. And I was like, dang, that's what's really happening in my life right now. I just got educated. Now, in certain cultures, especially African-American cultures, Black cultures, this is not information we've not had access to. So it seems like specialized knowledge, like everybody want to have, channels on investing and channels on wealth and stuff like that. But if you think about it, I don't really see a lot of other cultures really putting emphasis on wealth like that now. You know what I'm saying? So, now that we have access to the knowledge, people actually want to apply it and be better. All right. So just to read from the list real quick, pay yourself 10%, tithe 10% for those who believe in tithing, invest into assets, and get your active income up, which is money that you get from working. Okay. Whether it's a job, self-employed business, Uber, self-employment, whatever, get your active income up, doing gigs, whatever you got to do, and start taking that money and put it into passive streams of income. Keep your cost of living, which is your expenses, your bills, and all that, your entire lifestyle. Know what that number is. Keep your cost of living at 25%. Okay. Your income, your personal income. I'm not even talking about my business income. My personal income, I like to keep it between 2 to 4 times my cost of living, depending on my goals. I'm gonna make that make sense. If I don't have, like, if I want to buy a house right now, my house is going to be $1 million. So if I was going to buy a house, I have to pay myself 4 times my cost of living because they need to see I can make enough money to buy the house. Now, once the house is bought, I'm going to reduce my income. Why? I reduce my personal income because I want to pay less taxes. So I will keep everything going back through the business account because business, I have tax deductions. When y'all have kids, that's a tax deduction. Well, most people who have a job don't have any more deductions past kids. People who have businesses, they can deduct more. They can deduct the office expenses. They can deduct the gas, the mileage, travel, softwares, apps, cell phones, all these expenses. You can say, hey, I paid $2,000 towards my phone bill. I spent $5,000 worth in spaces. And for instance, when I did my taxes this year, it said I owed $6,000. By the time I put all my expenses in, they owe me money. All right. So, that's what you got to understand. Like, you don't have expenses when you have a job. That's the difference. Okay. So your personal income, it depends on your personal goals. If I'm buying a house, I got to reach my income up so that, and then even then I'm putting the house under the LLC. No, I just thought about that. I'm gonna put the house under the LLC. And where I have more tax deductions. All right. So anyway, that's all another conversation. Just get online and look up wealth, and then you start getting references and stuff like that. All right. Emergency savings, insurance savings. Make sure you have a life insurance policy. Build your personal credit. That way you can get business credit. For instance, anybody, if you have personal credit cards, every time you max them out, it's reported to the credit agency. Well, this is the cool part. Learn how to get obsessed with LLCs and business credit. So now that I just applied for my first business card and hopefully it's here. It's taking all week to get it. But anyway, when I max out this card, guys, it doesn't get reported to my FICO. It doesn't get reported because it's under my LLC, not under my social. Okay. So I can apply for another card next week or next month or whatever. And I can max out all these cards and never get reported to my LLC. But I have to make sure I pay at least the minimum monthly on time. That's the only difference. So it's pretty cool. This is how people are getting so much money. They get these lines of credit under their LLCs, and that's how they can go buy real estate. They can start buying these in portfolios and stuff because they can keep maxing out these cards and it not affect their personal credit score. Okay. Now, of course, you don't want to be reckless and keep maxing out cards and not pay them off. Okay. Make sure you pay them off at the end of the day. All right. Stay away from consumer debt and liabilities, things that don't pay you, and use all your profits to use all your profits. So now once your real estate, your stock portfolios and stuff start making money, then that's when you start to go buy more liabilities. If you want to go buy the fancy car, you want to buy the fancy things, use the income from those portfolios to buy those things, not your regular income. Okay. But planning, build wealth, just get more knowledgeable. The last one, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your health? Be honest with yourself. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have, are you lacking in certain areas? Now, granted, things will happen to some of us that are out of our control. Okay. Some things are happening that are out of our control. Yeah, you have to, man. I'm about to open up 2 more LLCs. Um, just get nerdy, guys. Like, people always wonder why people, like, we look, sometimes we have an admiration for people like, man, they're just doing it. But we just learn. We get online, we get on Google, YouTube, and research stuff. And I realized the shortcuts to success is also seeking knowledge, not just mentorship. Because a lot of things that I could say to you, you could just find online, right? And a lot of stuff I learned is through a book, Richest Man in Babylon, some of my mentors, but YouTube, Google, like, it's literally all there. You gotta love reading. Like, you gotta really enjoy it. You gotta welcome it, because once you read it, you're like, oh, that's all I gotta do. And of course, you can reach out to people who may have some knowledge, but seek it first and then ask. All right. But on a scale from 1 to 10, evaluate yourself in all those areas, guys. Okay. So the first evaluation is your personal, your romantic relationships on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being is great. 1, it needs a crazy improvement. Okay. Number 2 is other relationships, family, friends, colleagues, business associates. Number 3 was fun and recreation. I think I skipped number 3. Fun and recreation is number 3. Your social life, your leisure, your travel, things that make you happy, hobbies and stuff like that. Make sure you're involved. Do not get so obsessed. I got some friends right now. I'm trying to snap them up out of it, but they're so obsessed with establishing either business and stuff like that. They've stopped even enjoying life. They don't even realize it, because I was once in that space for the past like 2 years. I was work. When I snapped out of it, I'm like, man, I've missed enjoying life, right? So don't confuse success as enjoying life. All right. Um, Physical environment. Number 4, your physical environment, your home, your workplace, your car, things that you're spending time in. Do you have images up? Is it clean? God always operates in excellence. When they used to sacrifice, it has to be clean. Nobody unclean could be there, right? People come to my house, them shoes got to be off. You got to take them dusty shoes off your feet, because guess what? I got a neighborhood where they got dogs. Somebody them dogs and pooed outside, right? And at one point, there was some dog poop in that spot, and it's vanished. But I promise you, it's still something that's left that you're gonna walk over, right? People spit, and it's just a lot of germs and dirt, and I don't want that in my house. I like to roll around and stretch on my floor. I don't want that on my floor, right? So you have to operate in excellence. Number 5 is personal growth, the mental growth, spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial. All right. Number 6 is your business. On a scale from 1 to 10, what is your work life? What is your business life? How do you feel? If it doesn't make you feel good, update your resume. Go back to school, get a better knowledge, get a better skill, right? Figure out how you can move forward, and don't be like, man, I really don't even want to do all that. I'm gonna just stick with it. Well, then, you're doing yourself a disservice by just sticking with it. Like, if you not feeling good about something is a symptom of this is not where you should be. You not feeling good about something is a symptom that this is not where you should be. All right. Number 7, your financial situation, your philosophy, and allocation. And I'll make sure I drop that checklist in the generational web chat so you guys can have access to it. And then number 8, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your health? When was the last time you made a doctor's appointment? If you don't have dental insurance, it's only $100 to go get a dental cleaning and exam. All right. I don't have dental insurance. I just pay it cash. All right. Twice a year, dental cleaning. If you need some work, save up your money until you can get the work. All right. Or if your credit is good, you can just use a credit card. Like, it's all a ripple effect. Okay. When was the last time you had a physical? Once a year. One of my old teachers, he was like 80 something. He said, every year for my birthday, I get a physical. Right. So when was the last time you had your body checked? Okay. Don't be ignorant. Like, you should love knowing about yourself. You should embrace being knowledgeable about your body. All right. So just be honest with yourself. On a scale from 1 to 10, grade yourself. And then keep it on hand. Make a goal every quarter, every 4 months, that you're going to check those key areas in your life. On a scale from 1 to 10. Has it been an improvement? Is the status still the same? Have you been stagnant? Did you be forgetful? Have you not planned accordingly for improvement to happen? All right. But make a list. What needs improvement? What needs repair? And also what needs separation? Okay. David Emanita, he had in one of his books, he talks about traffic light system. And when you look at those areas in your life, guys, you can do like a color system: green, red, and yellow. Green meaning I'm doing well in my health. Okay. Yellow means I'm doing okay. It's all right. And then red means is lacking, is bad. All right. So for instance, some people may be lacking horribly in their finances. So you can put a red pen or highlight a red marker or something, red light. We just write the word red by it, right? Um, if you think about your relationships and your friendships, you can say it's doing all right, right? Maybe you're just holding on to people because you like, oh, well, we know each other for 20 years. Well, that don't mean nothing, right? So I mean, if now they got your back and they're cool, and you know I'm on that level, great. But then also be sure you start to surround yourself. Now, understand that you can surround yourself around people who add value to you, but then there may be certain things about them that you don't totally agree with. So just get the specialized knowledge from them and then just keep it moving, right? You don't have to be their best friend, but pay attention. If they got more success than you need to start borrowing how they're moving, not how they're disrespecting people, not how they're being rude to people. We ain't talking about that portion. But if they have some type of, maybe you like their financial success, they know the knowledge that they have, right? Or just get on YouTube or find somebody that you do like, entirely and rock with them. Okay. But red, green, and yellow. Red light, I'm lacking. Yellow, it's all right. Still need some work. And green light, I'm doing well, right? So for me, spiritual, green, green, green. All right. Physical, I'm actually doing all right. It went from a red, it's in kind of a yellow, and it's finished. It's turn. I mean, I can say it's greenish yellow because I've been very, very consistent. But I'm giving myself 63 days to make sure that it's solid. All right, 63 days. That's where your new habits start to develop. But write those goals down. And last but not least, family, is understanding: are you a part of the 95% or are you a part of the 5%? Now, this is what will set you apart from the 95%. The 5%, this is what they do. The 5%, they're gonna go through everything I just told you. They're gonna evaluate. It may take you 2 to 3 weeks to do that evaluation, by the way. Okay, you don't have to do it all right now. Do that evaluation. Really dig deep. Really think about who you want to become. What things that you know you can do to improve. And then from there, once you do the evaluation, then always keep the end in mind, knowing what those goals are. What do you want? What will it take for it to become a green light? Okay. If it's a red and yellow, what will it take for it to become a green light? You want to start with the end in mind. For me, I'm a phenomenal trader. I am a beast trader. I've kept becoming a 7-figure trader. Well, first I kept the fact of just simply learning a skill in my mind. And no matter how many accounts that I blew, no matter how many different strategies and stuff I was introduced to, I said, this gotta work. I've seen somebody do this. It gotta work. It gotta work. And one day it started working for me. I kept the end in mind. So now my new end is a 7-figure portfolio. So I keep that end in mind and I'm gonna hold it. It may take me 10 years to get there, right? I don't believe it'll take 10, but just to give you guys a perspective, I don't allow time to dictate my level of commitment. Time has nothing to do with my commitment. It has not been for like over 3 years now. A lot of people date time and don't date their goal. And that's why it's a hit and miss. So what the wealthy do, what the 5% do, they are attached to the end. And when they reach that goal, they have a new end and they have a new end and they have a new end. So it's always a reset. They can care less about how long it's going to take. That's not something that they're connected to. They're emotionally detached from time. All right. And that's when you get into the supernatural space where, bro, I know it's going to happen. If I do the same thing every day, it's got to happen. All right. And I don't care about, it's a snowball effect, it's an accumulation, it's an exposure, it's consistency. To keep the end in mind, number 2 is what will separate you from the 95% is that you're going to start to build a support system around you. And that's making sure you have the right resources. You're leveraging your internet resources. You're leveraging books and audios. You're leveraging friends and family around you. You're creating an environment for growth and an environment where you see your goals. Your goals are printed. You frame them. They're not just on white pieces of paper, but you begin to put them in color. You get and you have a routine where you're supporting yourself mentally and emotionally, where you're always pouring in personal development because you're going to need that, especially if you're not super spiritually mature yet and your faith is not super strong. You're going to need that support system around you. So that's what generational wealth is. If you have goals and dreams, you need feedback about something. Like we're here to pour that positivity and that feedback. Number 3, they set goals that are specific and also challenging. Okay. So what do the 5% do? They set goals that are specific, but also challenging. They're very, very thorough. They know step 1, step 2, step 3. They may not know all of them. And some people just wake, like for me, there have been times where I just wake up and I say, you know what? This is what I want to do. And because it's such a heavy desire, God will send the resource, or God will send some type of random message on the internet. Well, like, oh man, I was just thinking about that, right? You might get a random text message from somebody who haven't talked to in 2 or 3 years, and they say, hey, I was just thinking about you, blah, 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 right? But you keep it in your heart, keep it a desire, and God will send the instruction. Okay. Number 4, they recognize when they are procrastinating. I am huge on this. I am so huge on this. Sometimes I would get to a point where if I'm relaxing, I'm like, bro, I probably should not be relaxing right now. But if mind you, I don't work hard all week. I've applied and scored points all week, but I'm like, maybe I should just let this day. And that's a conviction. That's when you know you're obsessed with success. When procrastination starts allowing you to feel conviction. When laziness or whatever, those words, whatever, you start feeling that heavy conviction because you feel like, you know what, like my friend be like, bro, you working out 2 times a day? I'm like, I can sit here and watch a TV and movie, or I can spend these next 2 hours that I have been given and go work out again. That's the level of conviction that I'm having now. Yeah, I'm going to go walk again. All right. I'm not going to go get my heart rate back up to 185. I may do like a 140, heart rate per hour walk, but I can spend 2 hours watching TV, or I can spend 2 hours becoming better. Y'all feel me out there? Drop some ones in the chat box if you feel me, right? I can spend 2 hours watching Netflix, or I can spend 2 hours finishing The Richest Man in Babylon and the Science of Getting Rich, because it's only 70 pages, right? Or maybe I don't finish a whole book. Maybe I just read 5 or 10 pages for the next hour or so, and then I'll watch TV. Like, you got to make it make sense. I don't reward myself if I don't feel like I've given myself anything to celebrate. That's how I do. All right. Number 5, what will set you apart from the 95%? This is the 5%. They use what they call a maximum performance. So basically what I just said, if I know I went hard today, listen, I'm about to watch me some cartoons. Like, by the way, I'm a big kid. I watch animation all day. If I just went here, I did a lot of calls, I did a lot of studying, like me watching this boot camp stuff. Listen, but in my online course, I am mentally drained. Bro, I work today. I'm about to watch me some cartoons and watch me some popcorn. Okay. But what they do is do maximum performance. So I always compare myself back to my 9 to 5. When I worked my 9 to 5, I was working 10 to 12 hours a day. And I said, listen, did I put 10 to 12 hours into my own business today? Did I get up early today? Did I get up and do something beneficial for myself today? Because if I was working a job, I would have got up and did it. So that's the difference. I have to command myself. There is no manager on my neck telling me I'm late. There's nobody can write me up. The only thing that's going to write me up is what I don't get in the future, right? Because I didn't plant the seeds today. So what you don't do is your write-ups. How about that? But they do maximum performance. Hold on 1 second. What y'all say in the life? So I picked up the signs. There we go. I just ordered me a second. Well, my new copy today. I left my other copy on the flight to London 2 years ago. So just bought me a new one. But the Science of Getting Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, The Millionaire Next Door, like your mind is gonna be like, oh wait, I've been doing this all wrong, right? And it's just because it's not a part of the curriculum. I believe personal development. I believe all the 5 keys of wealth that we have in generational wealth should be a part of the curriculum every single year of school. We got to teach kids budgeting. I took my nephew to the grocery store today. He checked us out. He scanned all the barcodes. He's 5 years old. They're so impressed. Oh my God, he is so smart. Oh my God, he's so mature. No, we have such a condition, a society of lack, that teaching a 5-year-old how to scan barcodes is impressive when that should be the new norm. They should know how to scan barcodes and tap. I have him hold the credit card in there and grab the receipt and bag it and grab it back. He does it all himself. So why isn't that the norm? Because that's not what we were ever exposed to, right? A lot of people don't get exposed to that stuff till they're like 3rd grade, or at least start counting money and stuff like that. We should learn how to teach kids how to think from a very young day. I cringe. I'm gonna be very transparent to something random. I cringe when kids graduate. I cringe because all I know, it was just knowledge. It was something they remembered the night before and won't remember for the rest of their life. Nobody taught them how to budget. Nobody taught them about credit. Nobody taught them how to read contracts. Nobody taught them how to communicate in leadership. They were not taught how to be an adult. I cringe when kids graduate school and high school and grad in college. Cool, you got specialized knowledge, but that doesn't make you people are taught how to survive and not thrive. And I'd be like, that's why I be on my nephew like, buddy, how much you pay yourself? How much you? And they be like, oh my God, no, because we have normalized kids being babysit until they're 18 to 21 years old, and then we tell them fly out of the bird's nest and hope that they fly. No, them kids is gonna get a hold one day. They need to know now. But it's been a ripple effect in the society where we just do that. We don't teach them how to live and thrive, what credit scores are and stuff like that. Bank accounts, checkbooks, budgeting, allocation of wealth, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual wealth. We don't teach them none of that. That is not in nobody's school system. All right. Personal development should not be a special academy, a special topic. Self-help should not be a special topic. Budgeting, finance, and credit scores. We shouldn't be pushing credit scores like we pushing candy. Like it should be normal. We're credit repair. We shouldn't have title. What is it? Title. Use your title to get a car. The title loans. That stuff shouldn't even exist if we would just teach all this stuff from the beginning. Sorry, I'm going on a rampage. Just want y'all to know how I feel. I feel like we are very, very backwards. All right. And I think it's very intentional. Okay. What else we got? Maximum performance. The 5%, they take time and listen to personal development and music and things that enhance them. Finally got to a space where certain music would just annoy me because I was like, bro, I do not want this in my subconscious mind. So I stopped listening to a lot of I love rap music, don't get me wrong, but I stopped listening to a lot of Bogle rap music because it was like, bro, this is getting into my subconscious mind. I felt like it was making me dumber. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting stupid listening to this. Right. So that's how I know I'm now conscious of what's going into my mind, because it was like a knock on the door. The music was like, let me in. I'm like, I don't want to listen to that. So I do listen to a lot of instrumentals. Y'all know I'm a musician. So I listen to a lot of classical music, a lot of movie scores, things that put me into that thinking space, that focus space. So they listen to music. And then number 7, they understand that multitasking is a myth. All right. They like I do it for paycheck, the college, that's it. That's it. Have a session where you play your own piano. That's it. Right? Last but not least, to understand that multitasking is a myth. You need to focus on one step at a time. If there's something you don't know, for instance, I don't spend my time trying to make flyers and stuff no more. One of my closest friends is a goat at making graphics. I pay her without hesitation. I don't say, well, that's too much money. I don't give a flying fish. That too much money is not in my language. It's not a part of my vocabulary. It's not a part of my DNA. If it's worth it, because I know I don't have the mental capacity to build no flyers and do all. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna pay you to do it, and I'm okay with paying you, because money is just paper anyway. Money is just a conversation. That's all money is. It's just a conversation. All right, but review these areas each quarter. Don't be obsessed with the clock. Don't be obsessed with the clock. Be obsessed with scoring every single day. Score yourself from 1 to 10. Need some help? Green light, red light, yellow light. Need some improvement? I'm doing well. And even if you're doing well, how can you even go to the next level? Because there's always new levels. All right. And do that every single quarter. All right. Every 4 months. Check. You can use that same document. Oh, still the same. Oh, gotta change that. Gotta do that. All right. And let it roll over. It may roll over year to year. At the end of the day, it's going to be improvement. The only thing that's going to change is you hit the goal. Maybe your goal was to lose 5 pounds. Now set another goal to lose another 5, right? Or whatever. Just get in shape in all areas of your life. Grade yourself. Be very honest with yourself. Apologize to the people you need to apologize. Separate yourself from the environments that you need to separate yourself from. And just keep growing. Ultimately, it's just doing it every single day. I just said at the end, do not focus on the clock. Focus on scoring every day. When I say scoring, I ain't talking about the 1 to 10 no more. I'm talking about, did I show up today? Okay. Right now, I'm leaving tomorrow, but I've been spending time with my mom and my nephew. I've been here since Sunday. And I have my Bible, my gratitude book, and my personal development book read. I could have easily left that at home on my counter and be like, I'll read it when I get back. No, that Bible about 50 pounds. I brought it. So I did my read and I did my gratitude today. Right? You can have excuses all you want to, but it was it's too heavy. I don't want to carry it. I'm gonna just leave it here. Well, I don't know. I just wake up and do it later. Or I'll come back home. No, the environment should not change the habits. Whew. The environment should not change the habits. I scored today because I woke up and read. I did my gratitude and I worked out. I ain't had my bikes, but I ran 2 miles and I broke my own new record today. Right? So the environment should not change your identity. That's another call. All right. But thank y'all so much. Our hashtag tonight. Let me make sure I drop this in the chat for you guys. What is our hashtag tonight? What is our hashtag tonight? I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Where's generational wealth? Is anybody well, let me drop the link. Let me just make it easy. So this is our community chat. It's only focused on growth. It's really justified. We focus strictly on growth and faith in there. And here you guys go. This is the generational wealth chat. So if you ever need some positive, like-minded individuals, a space of environment, that's it right there. And then let me drop my philosophy sheet. Here you go. All right. Wealth philosophy. Oh, let me just put GW wealth. Well, W sheet. All right. All right, there you go. So you guys can leverage that, and you can create your own philosophy at the end of the day. You just got to do what the wealthy people are doing. And every time I say wealth, I'm not just talking about money. Wealth is a mindset. So y'all ever hear me say wealth? I'm always talking about mindset. You can have a poor mindset, or you can have a wealth mindset. You choose. The only reason you remain poor because you didn't read today, you didn't listen to something new today, you didn't grow today. I'm very intentional about growing every single day. That's a conscious, well, subconscious now. All right. Make it a conscious effort so you don't have to think about it no more. All right. The environment should not, no, I said your identity shouldn't change because of the environment. Absolutely, Miss Sasha. Absolutely. Albie, absolutely. Your identity should not change because of the environment. Because we make excuses. We're gonna go on, like I'm going on vacation. Well, not vacation, I'm traveling again here soon. And I stopped bringing my gratitude book because I lost my book last time and hurt my feelings. So I said, I ain't gonna bring my books no more. Bump it. I just have to get a whole new book if I plan on not losing it. But now the only thing is I'll take pictures of the pages of the Bible I need to read, because when I'm traveling, I ain't gonna lie, that book 50 pounds. So I'll take pictures of the book, so I'll make note of what chapters I need to read. But I bring my regular read, my personal development book, and my gratitude book, because those are not heavy. I make sure my highlighters are with me, my red pen and my highlighter. And that's it. Your environment does not change. Your identity should not change because of the environment. Okay. Be consistent. That's what we call integrity. Okay, guys. What's our hashtag tonight? Let me see. I said something about scoring. How about scoring? Scoring points every day. Just keep scoring every single day. All right. Keep score. There we go. Keep score. Y'all go to the generational wealth chat. Hashtag KEEP score in the chat. Y'all can drop some gifs in this with somebody shooting some basketball or football, but just keep scoring. Keep scoring means shooting every single day. If Steph Curry is the best shooter in the world, I promise you, he get up and shooting every single day. So keep scoring every single day. Don't watch the clock. Just keep scoring. That's it. I love y'all. Have an amazing night. I'll see y'all next week. Let's keep growing. And thank y'all for being here, because I'm not here just for me. I'm here for, I want to be here because I need this environment. All right. So I appreciate you guys for allowing me to be a part of this community together. All right. Y'all have a wonderful night. If anybody needs any prayer or anything, reach out to me. I got your back. Y'all have a blessed night. Keep scoring. Let's go.